Hi Aquarius, welcome to your week ahead. So this is going to be general messages for the week ahead. So like the video, comment. I'm doing a half price deal on the 6-month read if you want it. There will be noise in the background. It's just where I'm at right now. It's quite loud. But I just want to get as many messages out as possible. So just go with it. Okay, so like the video, comment. And if you do want another read, you can just put in the comments, Elisa, I want to book a read, and I'll arrange it with you. Okay, so I've just done Gemini and I've just done Leo and it was really cool. So let's see the messages that are coming up for you. So we did start you before and then basically some engine came and was going on crazy. But there could be a metaphor around that, something to do with needing to get going. So something to do with, there could also be a metaphor around a car or an engine or something like that. So there could be a need to look at your car, the engine of your car, that could be driving you crazy, something like that could be going on there. Because I don't believe anything's random. There is a message with, okay, so another message was around Aquarius wanting to live van life. So something to do with, wanting to be on the road, wanting to basically live like van life. Nothing wrong with that. Lots of people do it. They have a great life. And you had the King of Swords. You had the King of Swords with the 201. So there is a message where I feel like, and a lot of people are in this right now, where they currently are is just not, it's driving them insane. Like, not everybody, some people are happy, but those people will be at peace. So when you're happy in your life, you're at peace, you're not conflicted, you're happy where you are. But I feel like there's a lot of people in the current generations who are very restless. And obviously a lot's going on in the world and a lot is going on in countries, and so people are very restless. So I feel like a message at this time, and this is a timeless message, it's not just for this week, it's when you see it. There's something to do with wanting to go on the road, needing to make a decision, needing to make a change. Some of you might be dealing with a Leo. So Leo got a similar message and you came out for Leo. So maybe your partner's a Leo. Maybe you want to be with a Leo. There's something to do where either you're waiting for that person to make a decision. It can also be like people are in relationships and it can be difficult when you're in a relationship, because if you want to do a certain thing, then you've got another person to ask because you're with someone else. What I would say though is that some of yous are in a relationship, and lots of couples do this, right? Lots of couples go and travel together and live together. I feel like some of yous who are Aquarius, you're going to find love with a foreigner. So there's something to do with unhappiness. There's something to do with instead of sitting there unhappy, right? Now the revved up engine can also be to do with feeling angry, feeling triggered, right? But this is what a lot of people do, right? They waste their energy being angry. It could be like an environment like this where it's just full of riffraff, it's full of chaos, and you're just sick of it. So I'm just staying here, but I'm saying some of you might be dealing with this on a consistent basis and it's driving you insane. So there's something to do with and then there also seems to be a message with Aquarius where every time I do the reading, there's like a challenge or there's like a block, or there feels like there's something that's stopping you, or there's someone. But the bigger message for Aquarius is around happiness. It's around basically, instead of sitting there frustrated, triggered, battling the external that's full of idiots, this is where you get to a place where you're like, I'm going to go to that location. I'm going to go to that place that makes me happy. So for the Aquarius woman, I think with this particular individual in the background, you're dealing with that type. And so what I mean by this is like a riffraff. This is someone who's committed to chaos. They could be on drugs. They could be in and out of jail. Some of you Aquarius women, I think there's something to do with an individual who you need to get away from because they're not good news. Okay. The 201s is the need to make a decision. But I feel like the bigger message for Aquarius is to do where some of yours, the environment around you, you're talking about different countries are going through different things. Some of yours might just have riffraff, basic common riffraff. Some of yours might have where you are feels really unsafe, it feels really uneasy, it's making you on edge. And some of yours, I feel like it's not even about that. Some of yours, it's more to do where genuine unhappiness, and everyone finds happiness in different places. Some people do find happiness in chaos, right? But I feel like some of you Aquariuses now, you're just not happy and you want to find your place of happiness. And that's it. For the Aquarius woman, like I said, I feel like you are dealing with someone who this person brings a lot of problems. This man. He could be a man, but he could be like a man-child, right? I feel like this person brings a lot of problems and there's a need to make a decision. Because at the end of the day, when we've got a person like that in our life, it creates instability, it creates problems, there's something to do with that. But I'm going to stick to the main thing. The main theme is around Aquariuses who feel unhappy. And I think a lot of people, what do? They feel unhappy and they stay in unhappiness. But you don't have to. You have to figure out, what does happiness mean to me? And it's different for different people. You know, peaceful people cannot find happiness in chaos. Chaotic people can find happiness in chaos because they like that, right? That's a stimulant to them. But for some of you Aquarius men, and it seems to be going this way in this particular reading, maybe you was that. You were hanging around, you were yapping your mouth, you were getting involved with the wrong people, you were taking this, that and the other. Maybe that's what this means, right? But maybe you've transcended that now. Maybe you're kind of like, yeah, I don't know who that was, but because you're coming up as the King of Swords. So this is kind of you wanting to grow, mature, put your life in the right direction, not be hanging about, getting up to no good, because you can do what you want, there's no rules. The law is for stupid people, right? Real people know, smart people know there's no law, right? There's just people who are in fear of law or rules, who follow the rules, right? But if you're willing to suffer the consequences, there's no law. Right, there's none. But I feel like some of you Aquarius, and I love this, like you were on the wrong track and you were kind of around the wrong type of people, or that type of person who's no longer in alignment with who you want to be now. What used to feel fun to you now feels just like classless. It feels like, I did that, I acted like that. It's kind of that. It's growth, and everyone goes through it. If you think about, like, we've all had times in our life where we've all got stories, but I feel like the main message for Aquarius at this time is something around, I think a lot of people are battling the country they're in, the people around them, the job, the relationship, and the smart thing to do is to stop battling and to say, this thing is making me fucking miserable, or this thing is no longer in alignment with who I am, and I reject it. And that's it. And you can't control the world's going to shit. People are, you've seen. And it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what country you're in. Every country has got its problems. It's got its issues, like every country has. So there's just no point. Your job is to protect your peace, your safety, and your happiness. Your job is to be accountable for who you represent, and that's it. Okay? So let's see what else is coming up. But I love this because it's about, I think people think happiness is the right, a bit like peace, and it's not. Like, happiness is one of those things where you have to make it happen. In other words, you have to figure out what makes me happy and commit to that. Same as peace. We live in a world now where peace is a rarity, privacy is a rarity because the internet, because of a lot of things. And so things like peace, privacy and happiness are things that you must figure out and take accountability for. So there's something with that. And I love this for the Aquarius man, because I feel like this is a person who maybe was in and out of jail. This was a person who was not good. This is just someone who's fallen out of character. They're not in the best place. And so this is a person who's now committed to, no, there's better for me, and I can be better and I can achieve more. That's good. 6 of Cups. For the Aquarius woman, I think your biggest challenge at this time is around someone who you really, really love this person, but this person is, I just specifically heard, the road to hell. And what women do is they take a man who's on the road to destruction and think, oh, I can change him. No, you can't, because the man has to want to change by himself, So I feel like there's someone around you, and I feel like this person is on the road to hell. In other words, this person is doing all the wrong things. And eventually the consequences are going to come. Sometimes I think we go through periods of our life where we've got a death wish, we just don't care. I think everyone goes through that. Like, they get to a point where it's like, I don't care. But the problem with you is you do care. It's him who doesn't care. And I think some of you have got a child with this person, and so his consequences are going to be your consequences. There's a need to protect your happiness, and there's a need to protect maybe your child, okay? Okay, so where is Aquarius sabotaging themselves at this time? What did we say? So some of you, as I'm telling you, it's around, and again, if you're going to reach out of the matrix, you need to stop judging people, right? The Four of Wands reversed is some kind of community, some kind of group of people who they're just not in alignment with the happiness, the peace, and the kind of safety that you want. That's it. That's it. Don't sit there figuring out why they are the way they are and why they do what they do, and don't worry about that. Wasted energy. Smart people say, you know what, this is not in alignment with me, and I'm just going to leave. And that's it. So there's something to do with, and we've been talking about this a lot, about frequency and timeline and alignment. There's something to do, and some of you, I understand, you might be sitting there going, Elisa, I don't have the money right now to leave right now. Okay, so you're in the preparation stage. That's what the Two of Wands is. You're going to get in the preparation stage so that you can leave this. Some of you, it's an environment, some of you, it's a house. You know, sometimes we're living in a house that's full of bad energy, maybe around people who are not good for us, whatever. Some of you could be with the person we're talking about. So this person is doing all kinds of things, you're living with this person, and you need to leave. So I feel like a big message for Aquarius at this time is getting a plan. Because the Two of Pentacles reversed is being off balance. Okay, so there's another message that I feel like some of you Aquarius right now, you could be that version. So you could be a person right now who you're struggling to figure out who you are. But I'm saying, so some of you right now, you could be in a place where it's kind of, life doesn't feel meaningful. And so when life feels meaningless, we tend to be reckless, right? Because in that moment, we don't really care, right? But then in time, things can change and we will care, okay? So I feel like the strong message for Aquarius at this time is around happiness. It's about basically making smart choices. It's about getting away from people who are reckless. It's about being careful with your own recklessness at this time. And I think the ones who I'm talking to who are kind of stuck, some of you could just be staying where you are because it's kind of like maybe another person won't come in for me, or maybe it'll fail, and it's just not true. So I feel like for Aquarius, the key message is around what makes me happy, what makes me feel safe, and what brings me peace. And then I would say reckless behaviour or sabotatory behaviour is where you acknowledge what that is, and then you keep going to the places that don't bring you happiness, don't bring you peace, and don't bring you safety, right? And I'm going to say for a lot of yous, it's similar to this, riff-raff, noise, chaos, and I feel like a lot of yous, you just want to go camping, you just want to travel, some of yous want to live in an RV. Some of you might want to find love. And I think a big message as well is a lot of people do, they tend to stay where they were born. They tend to stay in what's familiar. But sometimes the best thing you can do is pack your bags and go searching. Well, you're not really searching, your instinct is telling you, I don't belong here, I need to leave. And that's really God giving you the message that you need to leave. And then when you leave, you think you're searching, but you're not. You're just on a journey, and the journey leads you to the marriage or the career or where you're meant to be, basically, right? So there is no really searching. Searching is kind of for matrix people. It's for people who live in a lower 3D consciousness. When you're connected to the divine, you're not searching. You're constantly being given messages, and your instinct is telling you, right? But there could also be a message, and I think people need to learn this, which is you can't make people go where you want to go. Sometimes you have to let things go. You have to let people go. You know, people want to grow but stay in the same place. It doesn't work like that. Like I've just said, people say they want happiness, and then they constantly have people in their life who don't bring that. similar to this environment. Like I said, this is not a permanent environment for me, but a lot of people deal with this type of environment permanently, right? And that's not good, right? So it's kind of, there's a message here, which is getting a plan for the kind of environment that's going to make you feel peace, safety, and happiness, right? And I think there's also a strong warning for the Aquarius woman around, there's a man who's on the road to hell, and there's nothing you can do to save him, there's nothing you can do to convince him. I feel like this is an arrogant person who thinks he's superior. This is the type of individual who a woman guiding him or telling him is beneath him. Can't help him, don't try. And I do feel like some people need to put the finger in the fire and get burned to learn the lesson. Like, they can't really be told. And I've coached people all over the world. Some people, they have to do it for themselves. They have to learn the hard way, as tragic as that is. And then there was also a strong message, especially for the Aquarius man, that you could be currently on the road of self-destruction, and you really can just get up and turn it around. You don't have to carry on driving the fucking car down the road. You can just turn it around. You can just say no. You can leave that group of people. You can take that flight. You can say no. You know, it takes strength, but you can do it. So I love this because there's something to do with wanting to create a magical life. And I do think no matter where you are, like I said, I don't care if you're in America, I don't care if you're in the UK, I don't care if you're in the Middle East, like, there is chaos going on in every country. The human race is in chaos, it's in conflict, so there's not really any ducking or diving. It's about basically, we're here to live, we're all in, what makes me happy. Yes, play for safety, but, you know, also be a gangster, which is if problems come, I'm not going to cower, no problem. And yeah, but I feel like the strong message for you is, like, what makes me happy, what makes me feel alive. There could be motorbikes, you know, but it's also being careful with recklessness. The message with the Aquarius woman is, a bad boy is all great until the consequences come. So maybe there's a reflection of choose your poison, you know, like don't complain when the consequences come. Similar to people who allow their lives to be wasted away. That's a choice. You're allowing that to happen. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it is a choice. It is a choice to sit in misery, choose unhappiness, moan and grind every day over getting up and saying, what the fuck makes me feel alive, what makes me feel happy, and I'm going after that. And whatever the consequences are, okay, I'll pay them. You know? So, I love this for yous. It's, you know, Aquarius rules the stars, right? You rule the stars, you are the universe. Like, you know, the other side of the coin is the star also represents the black hole. So in life, that's what you've got to be careful of. You've got to be careful of falling into your own black hole. You've got to be careful with the traps of life, because there's many, you know. And the devil is always working. People don't understand this. Like, the devil works non-stop to take out the best, right? Because we've all got destinies, we've all got missions, and he doesn't stop to make sure that the best give up, sell out, choose comfort, choose convenience. I think this is big for yous. I think it's a message. It might not be a message for a lot of Aquarius, but I think there's some Aquariuses who are going to be watching this, who are going to be like, yeah, that's me. You know, life is short, so all in, okay? Enjoy your read, like the video, comment, let me know what you thought. I'm not going to say sorry about the noise, because I feel like, again, it is as it's meant to be, okay? I'll speak to you soon.